Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sonny, and today we're going to have a look at Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman's chart. He was just fired, removed from his post by Donald Trump, and we're going to have a look at his chart to see if we see anything in there that would indicate that there's any problems coming up. And let's take it from there. For those who don't know, I'm a professional astrologer, and I write tons and tons of horoscopes for you guys. There are tons of live streams on the channel telling you guys what's coming up. And if you want a personal reading, just check out how to do that in the description box below. Plus, we have a really cool app out here on the Sunny Side. It's called the SunnySide Astrology, and there are a couple of different horoscopes on there. I put a couple of different horoscope widgets on there if you want your horoscope from different perspectives. There's tarot stuff on there, and compatibility stuff, and the app is for free, and there's a link in the description box below. All right, let's get to it. So I'm going to do a little mini reading of Lieutenant Colonel here. So just a little mini reading, and then I'm going to show you the transits to see what's going to happen. And you can use this either if you're curious about it or curious about what happened to him, or if you want to know, follow the transits as they occur in your own life. And if you have similar placements, you're probably going through similar stuff. You might be going through similar stuff. All right, let's do it. I have Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman's birth time chart at June 6, 1975, and I think he was obviously born in the Soviet Union. That's a very big place. I don't have his birth time, which is, sometimes it's a big deal, sometimes it's not a big deal. So in this situation, I put his sun right on the ascendant there, and we're going to look at planet to planet aspects. We're going to look at distance from the sun as far as the planets are concerned, and we're going to look at planet to planet aspects of those transit things, those there. All right, so here we go. So Vindman's a Gemini. Ooh, you know the story, never trust a Gemini. You know the saying, never trust a Gemini. Trump's a Gemini as well, right? So you can't trust these guys. So it doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. It just means that Geminis are very slow to make decisions. Gemini is the sign of questioning things, and so if you look at it like this, there are two signs that are ruled by Mercury. One is Gemini, and the other is a Virgo. Virgo is all about having the answers, very tangible, factual answers. Gemini is all about asking questions, trying to get to the answers. That's why they say Geminis are indecisive, because it takes time, because whatever answer you have, they're like a yeah, but kind of sign. They're always looking for information. Geminis are one of the information gatherers of the zodiac. Something similar in that regards would be Libra. Libra is very much see the other side. So Libra and Geminis are two very information gatherers of the zodiac, and Virgo is supposed to have all the answers. All right, so whatever. So never trust a Gemini. That's the first action coming up. Also, his Mercury is in Gemini, so this is going to make someone exceptionally inquisitive. It's going to make someone who is quite prone. He's going to want to study a lot, and he's very good at applying himself. He's very outside of the box thinker, and he's probably has a lot of he's very good at questioning things. And at his line of work, it's good. He's questioning things. What's the other guy doing? He's always thinking, trying to think one step ahead of the competition. As we cruise along, we have Saturn here. We have Saturn and Venus both here in the, this far away from the sun is almost the second house, so to speak. And what we have is there's a potential for him to make a lot of money in life. They're seriously. He's a very nurturing person. He probably cares a lot about other people. He's a Gemini, right? So you can't really trust him all the time. But there's with the Venus here, he does care about other people. He's a very nurturing person. He takes care of those around him, and he's always trying to do the right thing. And there's a potential for him to make a lot of money with a but. Saturn indicates hard work. For those who think Saturn's always negative in charts, it's negative with regards to certain aspects. It's very negative with regards to certain aspects, as you'll see when we do the transits. But as a placement in your chart, sometimes it's not so bad. In this situation, Saturn is going to bestow rewards, financial rewards upon this guy if he works really hard. And so if Mars was there, he'd make a lot of money if he was corrupt, or he'd spend a lot of money. but he wouldn't be good with money. But with Saturn there, money comes in. He holds on to his money. He's tight with money, and he works. If he works really hard, he'll make money. And Venus is here, so he's supposed to be financially secure as he cruises through life. All right, next, what else do we need to know? There's stuff. He's very good at working behind the scenes. This is his sun right here, and that's his sun right here, and this is behind his sun. So this is his south node here, and south node is a very past life kind of thing, if you believe in past life regression, or it's stuff that's childhood, it's stuff you're intrinsically good at. It's one of the places of the chart where energy enters into the chart, and it's where people spend a lot of focus in their life. And so this guy, believe it or not, he does a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Very simple right here. I didn't really expect to see this, to be honest. I thought he was an open and upfront guy because he came. But then again, he was subpoenaed to testify. And so he kind of had to go. And as a military guy, he would just do what he's told to do. And so, although he might question it, he does what he generally does what he's told to do. Anyways, so he does spend quite a bit of time dealing with things behind the scenes. Interesting. One more thing before we leave this part of the chart. His Mercury is retrograde in the first house. This is someone who's going to have to he might have a learning disability. He might have a problem communicating with other people. People with Mercury, born with Mercury retrograde, have a difficult time expressing what they're trying to say. And that's just a flat out deal. Mercury retrograde is someone who has difficulty communicating what they have to say. So maybe he's trying to say something, what he thinks he's saying, it's not going across the way it's meant to go across. And so these people have problems communicating. But not problems thinking, not at all, but problems communicating. And that's the deal. With this close to his sun, it would indicate he'd have problems communicating about things about himself, like expressing his wants and needs. Anyways, this is also mental health right here, and way down here is physical health. We have the north node, where the north node is in your chart. This is quick and dirty, like McDonald's style astrology I'm doing for you guys, right? So I'm not going to go super in depth, but just to let you know, generally the north node right here is where you're going to have problems in your chart, and sure enough, it's in physical health. So he has to watch out for things like physical health. When something negative was transiting here, when something negative was transiting the north node, there's a strong possibility he might have got injured in life. All right, which is not a big deal. I'm saying that it's not for everybody. It's for people who have the north node in this part of your chart. This part of your chart is physical health. All right, next. So as we cruise along, there's a possibility here. So this is an interesting one. This is an interesting situation right here. It's so we have Pluto in Libra, Uranus, retrograde Pluto in Libra, retrograde Uranus in Libra. This is an interesting situation. Pluto's and Uranus, they're both, this generation, these people who have this in their chart tend to redefine relationships. And so in this situation, I don't know if it matters or not. It's someone from, it's someone who might get divorced a lot, or someone who might grow up, in a different type of relationship. Maybe his parents got divorced. I don't know if his parents got divorced or not. I know he was born over in the Soviet Union, grew up in New York, but I don't know if his parents are divorced or not. But there might be problems with his parents, problems with his parents. Maybe one of his parents died when he was young. There's a possibility that he has problems with children. There's accidental pregnancy in this chart. The way it's lined up, there's accidental pregnancy, and there's abortion in this chart, and there's problems with children. Very seriously, problem with children, and potentially problems with his parents, and problems with his home life. Just saying, we don't have the birth time, so it's not exact here. It's not an exact science, but it's pretty close. All right, next, cruising along, way up here. So once again, the moon, for those who don't know, the moon in astrology is actually who you are. The ascendant, which we don't know right now, the ascendant, which would be this line if we had the birth time, that's how people see you. When they look at you, they see your ascendant. The sun is who you are. So it's not like who you are, like, hey man, that's who you are. The sun colors who you are. The sun is where you are standing in the world, and as you look around, the sun is shining a light on your place in the world, and you're seeing the world through wherever your sun is. So he sees the world as a Gemini, and as such, growing up with a person who sees the world as a Gemini, they take on these Gemini characteristics. And these things people might not see about you. So when they say, walk a mile in the other person's shoes, they're actually talking about the sun sign. They're saying, check out this guy's perspective. Try and see what he sees. They're talking about your sun sign. When they talk about, but when you say things like, nobody knows who I really am, that in that situation, they're actually talking about your moon sign. The moon is what you want to do. It's who you really are, and it's the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So that's the action. That's the action. The stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Oh, I'm all blurry now. What's going on? Ooh, okay. So this guy is a reclusive guy. This stuff is more or less in the 12th house. It's in Taurus, so he's quite a stable and secure, stable guy. Comfort is important to him. It might be behind the scenes. You might not realize how important family is to this guy. You might not realize how important, how conservative he really is, especially Geminis. Geminis, there's a little bit more. So he obviously has Mars and Jupiter in Aries. This is going to be a very aggressive person. This is a very competitive person. This is someone who will definitely leap into battle, someone who is not afraid of the consequence and will definitely go to war for you. But having said that, no one realizes how much he really, he cares about the tangible and material things in life. Like, he's a very stable, secure guy, and he might be slow to anger, slow to temper. Well, he's got his Mars in Aries, so he's quick to jump into Mars and Aries people are usually pretty quick to temper, especially with a Gemini here. But in his heart, it's Taurus. So he's a pretty stable guy. He should be a fairly stable guy, very aggressive, very competitive, very intellectual guy, but his heart wants to be stable. He doesn't want to freak out all the time. All right, so that's the quick and dirty on this guy's chart. Very seriously, quick and dirty. There's one more. Lilith is damned if you do, damned if you don't. And in this part of the chart, it's at a distance. His intuition probably gets him into trouble at times. He's probably sent to travel. Obviously, he's going to travel, and it's going to, there's going to be problems with foreign affairs at certain times of his life. And that's the deal. That's the deal. That's anything else that we need to know? Not really. Once again, the North Node, it's in Sagittarius, so this is someone who's going to end up, there are problems here. Anyways, it's about higher learning and education. This part of your chart is health. When you add Sagittarius to it, it's higher learning and education. So the guy could obviously do very well in school, but he's going to have to do it in stops and starts. It's not a direct angle. He's not going to go from the beginning of university all the way to his PhD. He's going to go, he's going to stop, he's going to go, and he's going to stop. There's the potential for a lot of success there. All right, next. Oh, man. So I had a quick look at his transit chart about what's going on, and this is the important stuff about what's happening today. And this is what's really neat. Check this out. So, as it turns out, he really does have some serious energy here in the cardinal signs. And the cardinal signs are what have been under attack in the last couple of years. This is cardinal as well, and there's nothing here. So we'll X that out. Now, there's some fascinating stuff happening right here. Venus, that's what you attract, your love, your money. That's your job. It's not necessarily your wife or your husband, but it's definitely your how you make money. It's your job. And in this situation, we have the full moon is transiting his Venus. This is really textbook. And so the full moon is what's happening behind the scenes. It's stuff you don't really know what's going on, and then at the full moon, it comes to light. All the stuff that people are doing behind the scenes, that's the moon. In the Tarot, the moon means everything behind the head. In the Tarot, the sun is everything you see. And for Vindman, the moon has been cruising along, And then all this stuff that's been happening behind the scenes just crossed his job yesterday, just crossed his money. And so he got the big, not so cool happening into the what. And unless, anyways, and so that's what happened. You could very easily see that he would have lost his job recently. There would have been problems. But he's not out of the woods yet by any stretch of the imagination. Actually, this guy is in a lot of trouble coming up. And I'll show it to you. This stuff here, way up here, this is what's causing a lot of problems with people right now. It's taking things away. And you'll see that just because he's been reassigned, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's in that much trouble yet. But very soon, this stuff here, especially this Saturn, it's going to move this way. It's going to go from 25 degrees, and then it's going to exact opposite his Venus right here. And Saturn is a big deal. So this is a big deal. He is probably going to actually lose his job, or something is gonna happen where he's gonna take a major financial hit in the next couple of months, and not way in the future. No. We're talking like the end of February, middle of March. Something is gonna happen to this guy where he's gonna take a major financial hit. It's gonna happen behind the scenes, right? Because all this stuff happens behind the scenes, and so that's the deal. In addition to that, we have something major happen. This Uranus, it's just something sudden and unexpected is going to happen to him, maybe to his family, so watch out for stuff that's happening to him, his money, watch out to happening to him and his family. And this stuff here is mostly happened already, right? So this is his health, this is the fight, this is the problem up here, and that's mostly happened already. There is one little thing that's going to affect his Chiron in the next week or so, but that's his emotional state. And, so his emotional state is going to be a little unstable for the next couple of weeks, but that's not the big thing in the chart. The big thing is this right down here. His money, because we're looking at getting fired, right? We're looking at Trump nuking this guy. And so right here, he has... So that's it. So it's very clear to see. And for people who've come for personal readings with me lately, this is the very first thing I look at. This thing that's happening right now, it's damaging a lot of people who have cardinal energy, people who have Cancer energy, people who have Leo, Aries energy, people who have Libra energy, people who obviously have Capricorn energy. They're taking major hits right now. And that's the deal. So yeah, when you look at this chart, very cut and dry, you can see that this guy would have been fired. You can see that it would have happened behind the scenes. People were working against him, and you can very clearly see the time it was going to happen. 29, that's pretty much a lock. Just to warn you, just to let everybody know, Donald Trump has this exact thing coming up right now. So whether you like it or not, and we're going to look at his chart again in a couple of minutes here. So just check it out on the channel. But you can see Trump is going to get a bit of somehow he's going to get a wake-up call in the next 2 months. And I don't mean, this is not long from that. This is not long. I'm shooting this at the beginning of February. I'm talking about end of February, beginning of March. And that's the action. I think Vindman was a pretty okay guy. I don't know anything about him, really. I don't know anything about him. Maybe all the negative stuff is true. Probably not. There's a lot of slander going on in the world right now. There's a lot of stone throwing by coward politicians trying to save their jobs. You guys are so funny. We're going to vote your asses out so fast it's not even funny. Anyways, because one thing we don't like in this world is cowards. And that's what we see. Anyways, that's the action. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the video and download the app. Hope everybody's really cool. And I got to get back. Well, I'm going to shoot the Trump video and show you what happens with a full moon. And then I'm going to do the horoscopes for you guys. From the SunnySide.net, I'm Sonny. Wishing everyone the absolute best of a super beautiful week. And I'll see you guys soon.